Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to do the next video of our geography series. जो हमारी geography series चल रही है उसके next topic को आज हम लोग करने वाले हैं. And today we are going to cover about tides and we are also going to cover about coral reefs. Coral reefs. So first of all we will cover about tides. So let's start the video. And before starting this topic, I must say to all of you that please make your own notes. जो भी मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ उसका नोट्स बनाते जा रहे हैं because the notes will be very helpful in your revision because remembering all the facts, all the concepts is not easy, but by revising your notes again and again and again it will be struck in your mind and you will recall it nicely when it's asked in exam. So please do make your notes. So let's start. First of all we will discuss about tides. So what are tides? So tides are periodic rise and fall in sea level due to gravitational pull of sun and moons. Periodic rise and fall. Periodic rise and fall in sea level due to in sea level due to gravitational pull of moon and sun. Okay. Now just understand through this diagram. This is the suppose this is the sea level. Sea level. So when the tide is over the sea level, when the tides start to go over the sea level, then they are known as high tide. This line is HTL, that is high tide line, and this is due to moon's effect when it is happening when the moon's effect is maximum. Moon's effect is maximum, and when the tide is under the or lower than the sea level, then it is known as low tide. This is LTL, that is low tide line. Low tide, that is here the moon's effect is minimum. Moon's effect is minimum. So why I am trying to make you understand this, because this difference of the higher tide and low tide is known as tidal range. This difference is known as tidal range, or you can say littoral zone. This is only known as littoral zone. So the difference between the high tide and the low tide, this range is known as tidal range. And when it comes to tidal range, the highest tidal range in India can be found in two places, that is Gulf of Kutch and Sundarbans. Highest, you will find the highest tidal range in Gulf of Kutch, and the second highest you will find in Sundarbans. Sundarbans. So higher tidal range you can find, highest tidal range can be found in Gulf of Kutch, and the second highest is in Sundarbans. So this is what you must remember. It is important fact that highest tidal range is found in Gulf of Kutch. So I hope you understand what high tide line is, what low tidal line is, what is tidal range. So these are some basic concepts relating to tide. And now when it's come to formation of tide are formed due to two forces. Two forces for formation. Two forces for formation of tides. So first one is gravitational pull of moon. Gravitational pull of moon. And second force which is required is extra centrifugal force of earth. Extra centrifugal force of earth. This centrifugal force is created due to the rotation of earth. So I think you must know it, everyone knows it. Now let's move to the types of tide. What are the types of tide? Types of tides. So first of all we will discuss the types of tide on basis of frequency. On basis of frequency. So on basis of frequency, tides are divided into two types. So first one is diurnal tide, and the second one is semi-diurnal tide. So in diurnal tide, you will find that there is that is two, that is one high tide and one low tide in 24 hours. Whereas in semi-diurnal tide, you will find two high tides and two low tides in 24 hours. So this is an important fact. You must know that there is one high tide and one low tide in diurnal tide, and in semi-diurnal tide there is two high tides and two low tides. So this was the types of tide on basis of frequency. Now we will discuss the types of tide on basis of arrangement of sun, moon and earth. The second type is on basis of arrangement of sun, moon and earth. Sun, moon and earth. So here again the types are divided into two types, that is spring tide and neap tide. So first of all we will discuss spring tide. Spring tide. So what happens in spring tide? The arrangement of sun, moon and earth is in straight line. This arrangement is in straight line. Straight line. And when you will see arrangement, there are generally two types of arrangement. First one is Sinji. First one Sinji position, Sinji position. Second one is conjunction position. So what happens in Sinji? The moon is between the earth and sun. Earth and sun. So this is Sinji position. It is type of spring tide only. And in conjunction you will find that earth is between moon and sun. So this is what you must remember. In Sinji position you will find moon in the middle, and in conjunction position you will find the earth in the middle. So this is about spring tide. Now the second type of tide on the basis of arrangement of sun, moon and earth is neap tide. So in neap tides, the arrangement of sun, moon and earth is in right angles. Here the arrangement is in spring tide you found that the arrangement is in straight line, and in neap tide you will found that the arrangement is in right angles. And this is what known as, this arrangement in right angles is known as quadrature position. Quadrature position. So what happens in quadrature position? Here is sun, here is earth, and moon can be either here or here. So you can see the right angles are formed. So this is what neap tides are. That is the arrangement of sun, moon and earth is in right angles. Okay, and this position is known as quadrature position. So this was about types of tide. Now let's also see some of the advantages of types. Advantages of tides. So the first advantage is that it helps in oxygenation of water. Oxygenation of water. Secondly, it is helpful in nutrient distribution. It is also helpful in growth of mangroves. Growth of mangroves. It is helpful in tidal energy generation. Tidal energy generation. And it is also helpful for the development of tidal ports. For example, Kandla port. Kandla port is a tidal port, and it is situated in Gulf of Kutch, and we all know that the tidal range is very high in Gulf of Kutch. So this was all about tides. So all the important facts, all the important points about tides I have mentioned here. Now we will move towards coral reefs, or you can say corals. Corals / coral reefs. Again, an important topic. A lot of questions have been asked from this topic alone, coral reefs. So we will discuss it in detail. So what are corals or coral reefs? These are the huge platforms made of limestone, huge platforms made of limestone or calcium carbonate that found attached to the shelf in tropical oceans, that found attached to the shelf in tropical oceans. So what are corals or coral reefs? These are huge platforms made of limestone or calcium carbonate that found attached to the shelf in tropical oceans. And these are also known as the rainforest of the ocean. Rainforest of the ocean. And you should know that the highest phyla diversity on earth is found here in the coral reefs only. Highest phyla diversity on earth. Highest phyla diversity on earth. Whereas highest species diversity is found in evergreen forest. So you can mention it as a note. Highest species diversity. Highest species diversity is found in evergreen forest. So very important fact, you must know it, that highest phyla diversity is found in coral reefs, whereas highest species diversity is found in evergreen forests. So coral reefs generally take over just 0.1% of total ocean area. 0.1% of total ocean area, but they are responsible for more than 50% of carbon sequestration by oceans through corals. But you should know that more than 50% of carbon sequestration by oceans, more than 50% of carbon sequestered by oceans is through corals. And they are formed by coral polyps. Corals are formed by coral polyps. And when it comes to coral polyps, so these are of phylum Calencetrate, Calencetrate, and these are immobile benthic organisms. Immobile benthic organisms. They are soft bodied. These coral polyps are of two types. So we will see in next page. Coral polyps. These are of two types. First one is known as hermatypic. Second one is ahermatypic. Ahermatypic. So in hermatypic, you will find that these hermatypic corals are colony building corals. Colony buildings. And they are generally highly temperature sensitive. Highly temperature sensitive. That is, when temperature changes from a lot, if they can not survive well there. So they generally grow in temperatures around 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. If there is higher deviation, higher or lower deviation which is against this range of temperature, then these cannot survive well. So this is the most suitable range. And these build coral reefs. And when it comes to ahermatypic, so these grow individually. Grow individually. Okay, they can grow in any temperature. There is no particular range of temperature suitable for its growth, and generally they don't form any coral reefs. Okay, and when it comes to coral, you should also know one point, that these corals are with symbiotic relationship. Corals are with symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic relationship with zooxanthellae, with zooxanthellae. So here zooxanthellae is algae, and this zooxanthellae only provides color and food to corals. Color plus food. So this is important point. You must remember that these corals are with the reef building corals are with symbiotic relationship with zooxanthellae. So this is an important point. So these are some of the important points relating to corals, or you can say coral reefs. Now we will see the types of coral reefs. Types. So they are generally of three types. First one is fringing reef. Fringing reef. Second one is barrier reef. And third one is atolls. And these atolls are also known as coral islands. So through a map, you will see how these are seen from top view and how they are seen from side view. So from top view, suppose this is shore, so you will find the fringing reef like this, and from side view you will find this. Suppose this is shore, this is the water level. These fringing reefs are like this. Okay, this was about fringing reefs. When it comes to barrier reefs you will be see a more broader reefs, and from side view you will see them like this. Suppose this is the, you will see these barrier reefs like this. These are the barrier reefs. Now next one is the atolls. So atolls will be seen around the islands. They will be seen like this, horseshoe shaped. So these are atolls. And when it's come to side view, you will find atolls like this. This is the island. This is the sea level, and you will find atolls these places. So these are the three types of coral reefs. First one was the fringing reef. The top view and side view of fringing reef will be like this. Second one is barrier reef, more broader, more denser, and next you will find atolls, the horseshoe shaped and around the islands. So these are the types of coral reefs. Now we will see the threats to corals. What are the major threats to corals? So the major threat to the coral is global warming. Global warming. Because this global warming leads to increase in ocean acidification, and due to ocean acidification you will find degrading coral through calcification. Due to acidification there is degrading in corals. You will see the corals starts degrading through calcification, because they are made of calcium only. So due to calcification they starts degrading, and due to global warming you will also see that there is rise in ocean surface temperature. Ocean sea surface temperature. So as you know that they can tolerate only very low range of temperature. They are very much temperature sensitive. So due to this increase in surface temperature there is death of zooxanthellae. Death of zooxanthellae. And this death of zooxanthellae leads to coral bleaching, or you can say whitening. And when the coral is bleached, that is zooxanthellae is not now present in corals. The zooxanthellae had escaped from the corals. They have been removed from the corals, and this will not, because zooxanthellae provide foods to coral. The coral will not get enough foods, and at the end coral will die. It will lead to coral death. So these are the major threats of corals. Now we will see the distribution of corals. distribution of corals in world. So we will see the major coral distributions through a map. This is Australia. Okay. This is North America, South America. This is Australia, North America, South America. I am just making a rough sketch. This is Africa. This is our Indian subcontinent. So it's just a rough diagrammatic view of map, and this is again Australia. So okay. So I am just giving you a rough view. This is Asia and Europe. So where you can find coral reefs in the world? So first of all, you will be able to find the biggest barrier reef, that is here. This is barrier reef, which you know as Great Barrier Reef. Barrier reef. Okay. In this position, this is the barrier reef. Okay. Now here you will be finding coral triangle. Here you will be finding coral triangle. This here you will find the corals which are termed as coral triangle. Here you will find the Mesoamerican reef. Coral triangle, this is means here. This is coral triangle. Here you will find Mesoamerican reef. This place. This is Mesoamerican reef. You will find the reefs in southern part of Australia also. Actually, these reefs are classified into three zones: X, here southern part also, X, Y, and Z. So here X is, these are the coral islands. So what? Okay, so X is here Micronesia. X is Micronesia. Y is Melanesia. These are all coral islands. And Z is Polynesia. Okay. So these are the coral islands in the south of Australia. Now another important, here on the south of India you will find some reefs. Here first of all you will find Lakshadweep. Number one is it, I am mentioning here. Okay, number one you will find Lakshadweep. Then after Lakshadweep you will find number two, this is Maldives. In the south of Maldives you will find here, I think not here. Here you will find number three, this is Socotora. Socotora. Again here you will find number four. There are a group of 6 islands. Number fourth is Diego Garcia. Here you will find number five, that is Seychelles, which I am mentioning here. Seychelles, Seychelles. And here you will find number six. This is Mauritius. Number six is Mauritius. So these are the group of 6 coral islands here. So why I have mentioned here, because you should know the north to south division. First of all, in the northern part you will find Lakshadweep, then you will find Maldives, then Socotora, then Diego Garcia, then Seychelles, and then Mauritius. And in India, I must also give an example of distribution in India. So in India, where you can find corals, you can find in Gulf of Kutch, you can find in Andaman and Nicobar, you can find Gulf of Mannar, Most important, you will find in Lakshadweep, Mannar you will find in Lakshadweep, and you will find it in coast of Maharashtra. So these are the important places in India where you can find coral reefs. And through the map, these remember all these important reefs, especially this one, the north to south division, because many times they will give you to arrange in questions, especially UPSC asks these types of questions. So keep this in mind. So I hope you are able to understand what are tides and what are coral reefs through this video. So that is all for today. Please do like, please do share, and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis वैसे videos को बनाने के लिए काफी hard work लगता है. And if you like, if you share, if you subscribe, it motivates us to make more such videos for your regular basis. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.